Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex source material and, well, we break it down into the insights you really need. Today, we're diving into a pretty intense story. It's about the inner life, the operational world, and the eventual breakdown of Ray, a career criminal. His methods were incredibly precise, but his internal life was, frankly, a wreck.
Yeah, this is a fascinating one because the source material is not just about the crimes. It's like a psychological deep dive into this violent guy who's trying maybe desperately to escape his own, destiny. Ray and his partner, Manny, they had this whole setup robbing drug dealers pretending to be feds. So our mission here is to look at how his very controlled criminal system, which was really fueled by some deep trauma, but all fell apart, and how that pushed him onto this really violent path toward something like redemption.
Okay, so let's start there. Ray and Manny, they weren't just random stick-up guys. They were specialized dope thieves, as the source calls them. They met Youngright in Juvie, Lima, Delaware County, and they built this whole method around taking down dealers.
Exactly. And their strategy was, well, pretty clever, actually. It played right into the dealer's biggest fear, the authorities. They didn't just barge in shooting. First, they'd case the place. Then, they'd go in strong but not crazy, as the material puts it. And the costume, that was crucial. Ray found these windbreakers, the yellow DEA letters.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Got them at a flea market in Jersey.
That's the one.
Good
Flea market.
head.
And the badges. Army surplus store up in Connecticut.
So it's all about that immediate perception of authority. That's the core of their method.
Totally. The source says dealers would just freeze up because I think the quote is, only a stone retard was going to throw down on a Fed.
Right. Makes sense. They're already off balance. It's only later. When they're cuffed, they realize they've been had. But okay, if the whole DEA thing was about control, minimizing risk, why stick with Manny? He sounds like, pure chaos.
That's the key contradiction, isn't it? Ray wants operational control, order, but his partner, he reflects Ray's own hidden chaos. Manny was an addict, met his girlfriend Sherry in rehab, and he had these huge gambling debts, owed some guy, Dickie LaGrasse, at like 20 grand.
20,000, wow.
Yeah. So Manny's instability wasn't just a risk. Maybe it was a distraction Ray kind of needed. Something to let him feel like he was the controlled one, even as he was going deeper himself.
And you see that self-deception in how he views the victims, too. He's sort of looked down on them, right? The small-time Mexican coke dealers, the speed cookers, hillbilly tweakers.
Exactly. He'd see them, with dope and cash lying around, kids and wives there. And it made Ray feel like he had his life together somehow.
It's like a twisted moral high ground. He's wearing the fake uniform, judging them to avoid looking at himself.
Precisely. Avoiding the moral decay inside, which, as we find out, goes way back, rooted in guilt, inherited trauma.
Which brings us to that moment, the tipping point. It wasn't a shootout or a chase initially. It was just a photograph.
Yeah. During a raid, Jefferson Avenue, he sees this picture, a smiling girl, cap and gown.
And instantly, it's Marletta.
Hits him like a ton of bricks. She wasn't just some girl. She was everything he wasn't in that moment. The source calls her a brilliant girl, great gymnast, got into Cornell, and importantly, she believed in him, told him, you can be more, Ray.
Wow. So she's the symbol of the life he threw away. And the guilt must have been crushing because he caused the accident that killed her, driving a stolen car.
Landed him in juvie. So he's not just running from the law these days. He's running from that, from destroying the one person who saw good in him.
And if you trace that guilt, that sense of moral debt, it connects directly to his family, doesn't it? Specifically his father.
Oh, absolutely. Later, he visits his dad, Bart, who's locked up in SCI Chester, state prison. Bart's physically weak, thin, gray, hands shaking, but his mind sharps. And the things he admits.
Yeah, that part was rough. Bart admits abusing Ray's mother and trying to get Ray as a kid to hit her too, to, learn how it's done.
Chilling. And that's not just backstory, right? That's the source code for Ray's own violence.
It completely reframes his criminal life. It's not just a job anymore.
No. He realizes the violence isn't just a tool he uses. It's like a disease he caught, an inheritance. And he's terrified by it. Tells Bart, scared if I even bring a woman home, I'll start beating the shit out of her.
That explains so much about his internal state. The screaming nightmares, being jealous of his dream self, having connections.
Yeah, he's jealous of the man Marletta saw, but he feels trapped in the body of the man his father made.
And then, just as this internal crisis is peaking, the external world catches fire. The violence just spiraled.
Totally. That raid in Upper Bucks, they bring in a new guy, Rick Staley, maybe less seasoned.
And it goes sideways immediately. The meth lab, Charlene starts shooting. Hicks Rick and another guy, Ponytail, with a shotgun.
Right. No more DEA control, just raw panic survival mode.
They barely get out of there, and then they're in this insane car chase, right? A Dodge Charger trying to run them off the road.
Exactly. It's not about the dope anymore. It's personal. It's payback. This is a real escalation.
And the proof of that comes when they look for their informant, Danny Mullen. But instead of Danny,
They find his mother, murdered, left in the tub. The source gives that awful detail, the milky blue eye, the hole in her chest or throat. It's meant to show you just how ruthless the other side is now. Ray gets it. They've crossed the line. No go back.
and the final confrontation, the ambush by the bikers, the knuckleheads.
Yeah, that shootout, that's where Ray really confronts that inherited violence. He feels this animalistic rage, the source calls it, pistol whipping one of the bikers. It's described as electric, like stored up energy, ozone smell, makes him dizzy, blind almost.
But that rage, the thing he fears inheriting from Bart, it's what saves him in that moment, isn't it? He even sees his own reflection during the meth lab, Fire Eyes, huge, white, mouth open, screaming silently. The criminal becomes the monster he feared.
And that's the bottom, the peak of the crisis. He sees his life has just run backward. He admits it's harder still to sleep, with no one he trusted there to stand watch.
Yeah.
It forces the question, right, how does this end? He realizes it's only three ways. Either they stopped or they got killed or they got locked up.
So he has to choose. He has to try and break that cycle. And the first glimmer of a different path is meeting Michelle.
Right, at the video store. She looks a bit like Marletta, which is significant, but more importantly, she reflects his own past. She's done time, Trumbull Correctional Camp.
Stole money, right, for drugs with a lawyer boyfriend.
Yeah, 68 grand. So she
Yeah.
gets it. The weight of mistakes, being locked up, she offers understanding but not, enabling the old ways. And Ray realizes if he wants something normal, he has to actually build it. So he takes the leftover stolen money, adds some from his mom, Theresa.
And sinks it all into a bookstore.
A bookstore, a very concrete step toward legitimacy. And he hires Michelle to work there.
But before he can really move forward, he needs to deal with that original debt, Marletta, which means facing her father, Stan Hicks.
That's a heavy scene, but it's crucial. And Hicks confesses his own part in it all. Admits he broke Ray's arms back then with a tire iron from his patrol car. Pressured a witness to make sure Ray went to juvie.
Wow. So it's not just Ray seeking forgiveness, Hicks needs it too.
Exactly. And Ray gives it, in a way.
Yeah.
Says he understands. He'd have done the same thing, that mutual admission of being broken. That's maybe the closest Ray gets to real forgiveness.
And what he does with the money after that, that defines his new path. He's got about 80 grand left.
Yeah, around that. And he stops seeing it as cash. He sees it as a problem to be solved. Starts taking in these troubled kids, Andy, pregnant, abused, Lynch, and Stevie, petty thieves. Like a makeshift family.
So he's using the dirty money for
Grabbing.
their legal fees, medical bills, rehab.
Literally paying it forward.
Yeah.
Paying off his moral debt by trying to save others who are like he was. It solidifies when Manny ODs. Ray calls the ambulance, does his duty there, but he knows he can't go back down that road with him.
He finds his purpose, taking care of all the fucked up people around him. That's what the source says.
And the final act, the symbolic one, he goes into his garage and destroys all his guns. Every single one. Smashes the parts with a hammer and punch. Physically dismantling the old life.
So what this deep dive really shows us then is that Ray's transformation, it wasn't some clean break, was it?
Not at all. It's messy. It's an ongoing fight against everything he came from. The violence, the trauma. He finds purpose, yeah, but it's by facing the consequences, not escaping them. Choosing to pay back those complex debts, helping one damaged person at a time.
It really makes you rethink what redemption even looks like in a life like that. It's not about wiping the slate clean. It's about making the past serve a different future, maybe protecting others from the fate he almost had.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to sort of mull over. Ray eventually finds a quieter life. Sometimes he even sleeps without dreams. So what does that suggest about us, about the human condition? That maybe real peace, that quiet sleep, is only possible after you've been completely broken, lost everything, and then started the long, hard work of actually earning a second chance.